Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, friends are an important part of life, especially for teenagers. So how should parents navigate things like peer pressure or their teen being excluded? Here to share his always helpful insights, we welcome back the author of Staying Connected with Your Teen, family therapist Yshai Boussi. Good to see you again.
Great to be here.
Let's get right into it and talk about you have Kate's story. Tell me about Kate.
Yeah, I write about this in the book. So Kate is an 8th grader. She has 2 best friends since kindergarten. But in 8th grade, her 2 friends, Maggie and Lisa, started distancing themselves a little bit. They didn't talk about it from her,
yeah.
Distancing themselves from her, and she didn't really understand why.
Yeah.
Didn't think too much of it until she got a text message on their group, not to her, but on the group chat from her friend, Maggie, one of these 2 friends, who posted a picture of a party they were at, a goofy picture with all the friends together. But Kate wasn't in it. She wasn't included. She wasn't invited to this party. She was heartbroken, humiliated, embarrassed, angry, sad, all the things. This is a very, very big deal. Relationships in middle school particularly and high school are a big deal, especially for girls. So she was really, really upset. She comes home and talks about this with her mom. And her loving, well-intentioned mom shares her anger and rage and how can they do this? They've been friends since kindergarten. I can't believe they didn't invite you, and was so angry. And then she started to kind of try to help Kate and encourage her and say, like, you don't need friends like that. You can do better than that. These kind of protective instincts we have as a parent when our kids are hurt. Well, none of that was helpful to Kate.
Yeah.
Kate felt more like defensive and shut down when her mom responded that way. What Kate really needed was just empathy and listening and validating the feelings she had. And so her mom...
What should the mom have done?
Yeah, so what the mom actually learned to do, and I share this in the story because we as parents can adapt. It's not too late. Even if we mess up, we can come back and try again differently. She came back and tried differently. And what she did instead, what kids need in those moments is to just really how is that for you? How are you feeling? That sounds really hard. Validating, don't fix. We want to fix. We want to make them feel better because it breaks our heart.
Yeah.
But that's not what they need.
Okay.
What happened with this story with these friends is they grew more distant, but Kate eventually summoned up the nerve to talk to them and say, hey guys, it seems like we've been growing distant. And they were able to kind of talk about it. They never got close again because friendships shift around 8th grade and high school. They change.
Yeah.
These 2 friends ended up kind of being drawn towards a different scene, a little more of a party, edgy scene. And Kate actually found that wasn't her scene either, and she found a different group that were a little more like her personality, kind of nerdy and quirky, and she found new friends, and they weren't best friends anymore, but they were friendly, and it was good for everybody.
Well, that's a great way.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
And so we have to give them space. Friends shift and morph and adapt, but it's hard when they're going through it.
Yeah, especially since you mentioned they were friends since kindergarten. I mean, wow.
I know.
That's a tough one.
It is.
You say it's important to understand the role and that peers have with each other, with their kids.
Yeah.
Your kids.
So peers are incredibly, obviously really important, but they're not just important, they're important for a specific reason. They're an important part of development. So they have parents. Parents, our job, we provide ethics and values and a foundation about how to be in the world. But once they hit a certain age, what peers do is it helps them develop a sense of their personality, their tastes, their preferences, how they think about things. They need peers. Peers encourage them to try new things and have different experiences and practice. I think of adolescence as an internship to adulthood. Practice being an adult.
Right.
When they're with peers, they get to try out independence and try things they wouldn't try otherwise. They need to do that without us. That's how they separate. So peers they practice relationship skills, they practice empathy, conflict resolution. Peers, friends are really important for that.
And you say to appreciate the various ways that your teens connect with their friends over the years.
So nowadays, kids, teens, peers are connecting in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah.
I, the other day, stopped by my daughter's room and saw her on her beanbag chair doing homework with a friend, but her friend was on a video call.
Yeah.
Just there.
Yeah.
And they're just hanging out for hours. I don't even think they were doing the same homework. It's like the equivalent of going to a coffee shop.
And just hanging out.
Just hanging out, but I think it was really helpful because it was productive, because this is also a friend who's also doing work, but this is one of the ways. Video games, there are ways that they hang out. So we want to think about hanging out offline, but also validate some of the online ways that teens hang out. It's
Right.
really important.
And you say just because they have peers doesn't mean the peers are more important than you are as a parent.
That's right. If we have many of us had a really close relationship with our kids when they were little, and we were really tight,
Right.
and then they start to spend less time with us. They should be prioritizing their friends over us, but that doesn't mean they don't care about us,
Right.
and we're not super important. In fact, having a strong relationship with parents is an important and strong predictive, is very predictive of them having a healthy relationship with peers. Positive pro-social relationship with peers are more likely to occur when they have a strong and healthy connection with us. But we do have to accept it's not personal.
Yeah.
They should be preferring their peers, but also wanting to spend time and connect with us. It's not a zero-sum game.
Right. I know some parents who they want to be best friends with their teenager.
Yeah.
And you don't think that's a good idea?
I don't think so. I think best friends, they need us for support. They need like the nest for them to fly out and come back. They need to feel safe. They need to feel connected. But peers, friends are people that they can have fun with, be goofy with, be silly with, share similar interests with, and they need to separate from us.
Right.
And so they need us to be reliable and trustworthy and show up for them. But that's not a friend. They need friends that are their age, because this is their peer group they're going to go into the world with. This is they have to deal with different realities of life in 2025, soon to be 2026,
Right.
and that world is with their peers, and they need to come up with them. So that needs to be their friend group. Once they get older, in their mid-20s, then we can start to become more friends with them sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense too. That makes a lot of sense.
Because they're more mature, they've grown
Right,
up, they're
right,
older.
yeah. All good tips. Yshai, thank you so much.
You're
Great to
welcome.
talk
Glad
with you.
to be here.
All right, we'll be right back. Again, the book is titled Staying Connected with Your Teen, Yshai Boussi. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.